Oh, I want to switch gears to talk about ICE, the illegals, and I guess the SAVE Act with the voter ID and stuff like that. I want to play this clip. So this is the Minnesota officials testify on immigration enforcement. And the Attorney General of Minnesota, what is his name? Keith something, had a back and forth with Representative Marino. And now it's calls for him to resign, for Attorney General of Minnesota to resign.
Senator Hawley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ellison, let me start with you. You're the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota. Do I have that correct? That's a yes?
Sir, you're aware of my job. You know the answer to that.
You're not going to answer my questions? Are we going to start this way? Are you the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota, yes or no?
You know the answer.
Mr. Ellison, you're in my courtroom now. You're under oath. So I suggest that you answer my questions. You the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the state of Minnesota? Yes or no? Let's try another question. Are you familiar with the $9 billion in historic fraud out of your state, including the $250 million in the Feeding Our Future program alone? You familiar with that? Don't turn to the pages in your book to get your potted answers. Are you familiar with it? Yes or no?
Yes, I am familiar with it.
Very familiar, aren't you? Because the people who ran the Feeding Our Futures program came to you in your official office in the state capitol December 11th, 2021, and asked for your help in getting investigators off their backs. They complained to you for upwards of an hour about state investigators going after them, and they begged you to help them, and you agreed to it, amazingly. And we know you did.
That's not
because
true.
It's all caught on tape.
Yeah,
every single sentence is caught on tape. Here's what you said. Let's
and
take a look.
Obviously,
You said, it's not a question. You said to them, send me the names of all these folks who are investigating them. You said to them, send me their names, and I'll take that list, and I'll call the person over at Education who is investigating them and say, what's going on? Why am I getting these complaints? Then you went on to say, I already have my team working on this. What day should we get together to discuss it again? You made pledge after pledge to them. You said, we've got to make sure this guy who's investigating them stops it. You said, you have my attention. I'm concerned about this. You said, let's go fight these people, meaning the people who are investigating the fraud. Why'd you do it? Why'd you help them?
Are you going to let me answer?
Please, we're all ears.
So first of all, you're cherry picking quotes out of there.
Why did you help them?
I thought you were going to let me answer.
Why did you help them?
Are you going to let me answer?
Why did you help
You
them?
let me answer and I'll answer you.
Tell the truth and I'll let you answer.
I will tell the truth.
Good.
Let's do that.
That'd be a nice change. Why'd you help them?
Now see, Mr. Chairman, I didn't come here to be insulted. I came here voluntarily.
You came here for the truth. Let's have it. Why did you help them? The quotes are here. They're in black and white, and every member of this audience can listen to the recording. It's 54 minutes long. It's all in public. You can Google it right now and listen to it.
And listen to it all.
Why'd you help them?
First of all, I didn't help them.
You did help them.
No, I did not. I certainly didn't.
You're saying you didn't do anything for them. You didn't.
Well, wait a minute.
I already have my team working on this again. That's not you?
I have my team assisted with the information that led to the prosecution and conviction of these people.
No, you didn't. You didn't lift a finger to prosecute them. No, you did not.
No, because it was a federal prosecution.
You had, BS. You had whistleblowers come to you as early as 2019.
You're the one talking BS.
Hey, listen, it's my time.
Doesn't know what you're talking about, sir.
No, sir. You now have encountered the truth and you don't like it. Why'd you take their money? Why'd you take their money?
I didn't.
You took $10,000.
No, that's a false statement.
$10,000 9 days after the meeting.
False statement.
You took $10,000. Here's what happened. They went to your office. They solicited money from you. They solicited help from you.
That's also wrong.
They came to your office. It was your official office. You met with them for 54 minutes.
No, they didn't.
They asked you for help. You pledged it to them, and they talked repeatedly about money. In fact, it's all they talked about.
That's a lie.
Money, 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 money. They said, we will put our dollars in the right place. We will support candidates that will fight to protect our interests. You replied, that's right. They said, if you are securing your donor base and securing your power base, you can act the way you want. You replied, money is freedom. They said the amount of money circulating, I'm reading the transcript, the amount of money circulating in our community today is powerful, and we haven't realizing it in a meaningful way. And you said, give me the specifics. And 9 days later, you took $10,000
that's a lie.
from people who were then indicted. It's in your reports. Why'd you do it?
Sir,
was it worth it?
You know what? This is a theatrical performance.
10,000. This is the truth. This is what accountability looks like, of which you've had none. You helped fraudsters defraud your state and this government of $9 billion, and you got a fat campaign contribution out of it. You ought to be indicted.
True. Well,
that's the truth.
I think we've made the point. Let's keep the tenor just
for the record.
I'll ask how I want to,
he's lying,
Paul.
and that's the truth.
Oh no, this is all on the record,
no, sir.
Did you bother to investigate where the money that you facilitated their fraud for, where it went? Do you know where it went, what it was used for, the fraudulent money? I do, because we just heard testimony about it yesterday.
Because we were key players in the
hundreds of millions of dollars to terrorist groups, to transnational criminal organizations, to the drug trade, to drug trafficking, to child trafficking. And you took $10,000.
That's a lie.
And helped them do it. You know, the other thing is, whistleblowers came to you as early as 2019. Let's look. As early as 2019, whistleblower. Don't talk over me.
No,
as early as 2019, it's my hearing, pal. As early as 2019.
Don't call me
whistleblowers came to, well, I should call you prisoner because you ought to be in jail.
Well, we'll see what you can do about it.
In 2019, whistleblowers came to you in your office and referred to you fraud allegations from Feeding Our Futures, and you blew them off. Listen, your own state newspaper investigated it. The Minnesota Star Tribune, the Partners in Nutrition, brought its concerns to the Attorney General's office in 2018 and in 2019, and you did nothing. You did nothing for years. The only action you took is, once all these fraudsters came to your office and asked you to get involved and offered you money, then you got involved. Then you took the money, and then you got involved.
They did not come to my office. You're completely wrong about that.
You met with them for 54 minutes, and you took $10,000, and they also gave your family money. They gave your family thousands of dollars in campaign contributions in addition to what they gave
a false
you.
Statement.
Let's put
this is completely untrue.
The New York Post.
Yeah, we know the New York Post.
Minnesota Keith Ellison, AG, accepted campaign donations from individuals linked to the $250 million COVID fraud scheme after they were in your office. The donations came on December 20th.
Sir,
you met with them on December the 11th, and on January 20th, the FBI knocked over their headquarters.
No.
That's the sequence of events here.
No, it's not.
You've been right at the center of this fraud thing from the beginning, and you've enabled it. And sir, you should resign.
And sir, you should resign. I was thinking the same thing about you.
Should resign.
I was thinking the exact same thing about you.
I'm sure after encountering this truth, you are, because it hurts to have accountability, doesn't it?
Because after this parade of lies and presentation, I think you should be ashamed for misrepresentation.
Time has expired. Senator Moreno.
Whoa! Smoked his boots. Whoa! Smoked his boots. Oh! That was bad.
Was embarrassing.
That was bad.
Oh, you know what? See, the money that got stolen, they can trace a lot of it back overseas. Now, you went over there in the sand pile. You had to deal with ISIS, Al Qaeda. They've got Hamas. North Korea hates our guts. Iran can't stand us. And what the job of the U.S. Department of Defense or the War Department is to protect our borders. But you guys, because of our geographical circumstances, Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, you do it remotely. So you're 9,000 miles away in the Middle East, but you're defending our borders. Now, these corrupt bastards come back here and undo the work you've done, open our borders wide up to anybody that wants to walk in, no inspection, no vetting, with military-grade explosives in their backpacks, detonation devices of the latest type. They don't have to strap on dynamite and play suicide bomber or fly airplanes into Twin Towers and be kamikazes. They planted this stuff, and all of the work that you guys have done, all of the risk you took, all of what you went through becoming real men and women, that goes out the window because when they get the instructions, they flip the switch and watch the fireworks from 2 miles away.
So watch this. This is I argue with people, and I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop sooner or later. I'm gonna stop arguing with people. But this is what you would call complex attacks. I don't need to hijack a plane with a box cutter. That's like leaving your front door open and just letting anybody off the street just walk on in. Nobody's being vetted. And it's so many politicians, specifically in these deep blue states and cities, that are allowing it. And they're a part of it. And I've always heard the term follow the money. You follow the money, you'll get to the root of what's going on. And this guy allowed this to go on. He knew about it. The governor knew about it. The mayor knows about it. Everybody, nothing goes on without people knowing about it. Even stuff that goes on in Iraq. Yeah, this village got blah, blah, blah the other day. We know about it. We don't have to move right now and go hunt somebody down, right? But we know about it, and it's going to be taken care of. And I guess, say all I have to say, I really have a question is like, all right, so what do we do about what we know is going on? But we know we see it, it's proof there. Now what? Because even though he just smoked this guy's boots, now what? Because he's still in position. He's still getting a government paycheck. He's still collecting tax dollars from, taxpayers. Like, it's BS. It's complete BS.
Well, in a long range perspective, maybe you could say they were just trying to keep their political influence, because the Census Bureau is predicting that California, New York, New Jersey, etc., will lose at least 6 congressmen by 2030 because of the flight from the states that they have, well, from those states that have become very bad places for people to live.
High taxes, crime, all of that stuff.
Yeah, death and theft at the gas pumps and on the streets. That's okay if it distracts from, what did he get, 10,000 as a campaign contribution? Well, there's a guy that just pled guilty on the county commission here where I live in Memphis. He claims he got a $45,000 consultation fee after he got somebody a $450,000 contract to renovate laptops. That's the bribe. So he wound up pleading guilty to tax evasion, and I think he's going to finger a lot of other folk who've been stealing a lot of money. Follow the money, and you can find out what's going on. Other thing is, too, is follow the damn rules. If you want to become part of this team, go through the situation. If you're a walk-on, you want to join the team, be able to join the team, but don't sit there and try to jump the line. Now, see, this is just crazy what's going on. Follow the money is exactly right, but I resent that all of the effort everybody has done gets destroyed by somebody who says, for selfish reasons, we don't care if you're a rapist, a murderer, a member of a drug cartel, a gangster, you're part of Venezuela that back in the late 1870s stopped the number of American ships. And in one instance, a notorious one, put the American captain on a wall with some of his crew and shot them. And that prompted the U.S. government to build up its Navy once again. Now, we can understand that too, but, it ain't nothing nice. Monroe Doctrine, all of these things. And you want to make a lie out of it and tell these uneducated, ignorant people who have no idea what their laws are, what their history is about, that somebody's trying to cut them out of being protected. And you know that being free does not come in safety, nor does it come freely. And there are collateral consequences to the things that you have to do to be free. But they don't get it, and they perpetrate this mess, and this guy stuttered and stumbled and everything else. And I grew up in an era when we used to run the dozens on the playground. Hey, man, I don't want to say nothing about your mama, man, but you know, last night when I was by there, you know, that was sport for us. But he got his ass whipped.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it was embarrassing.
I'm gonna say two things. One, freedom isn't free. That's number one. Freedom isn't free. It's got to be fought for, and that's for anybody. But number two, we've all heard of crooked politicians. And when I think of a crooked politician, I'm only 40 years old, but I'm thinking, maybe he's got a backdoor deal with this union over here or that union over there. We have politicians today that are going to the extent of being a quote unquote dirty politician to the point where you're doing it for votes. Like, it's for votes. It's for votes for House seats or representation or whatever the case may be. And instead of answering the cries or the, issues of the people, of your real, genuine grassroots constituents, you say, okay, let me just bring in some other people I'm going to appeal to them and I can make some money on the side, but at least they'll keep voting for me because nothing that you're doing it doesn't affect them.
Right.
It doesn't affect them at all. It only affects the black, brown, yellow. It only affects even white people. It affects the white people. But if you're people that have been here, it's affecting you, and other people are getting money off of this. Other people are getting rich off of what you're losing, and for the politician, your lack of providing what you said you were going to provide when you were elected or when you campaigned, whatever the case may be.
Well, let me also add this because, this is the Attorney General. That was Attorney General Keith Ellison of Minnesota. Governor, I'm saying Tampon Tim, but Tim Walz.
Yeah.
He
Accurate.
I think his time to come in front of congressional hearing is either next week or the first week in March because of the, what is it, $10-20 billion? I think it's more than that, fraud in Minnesota. Whether it has to do with the illegals, voting, federal and state grants, just fraud.
Can you imagine if he was our vice president right now?
Well,
wow.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I could, because then we won't hear none of it. It won't be no congressional or anything.
Right.
My thing is, even with these congressional hearings, right, whether it's on the ICE, immigration, fraud, nothing gets done. Nobody gets locked up.
No, it's just a.
So this is for you, Judge. Are we going to see some indictments, some arrests, or is this just political theater?
President Trump just got his first year back. There are 3 more years, and likely there'll be 8 after that with J.D. Vance. So there's plenty of time to return indictments against certain people that are going to be implicated. And I can guarantee you that when the money gets traced out, if it's traced out honestly and efficiently, it's going to lead back up all the way to the top in Minnesota. I'm looking at this fallout on this, that George Floyd stuff. Several years ago, some of my crew and I, we went over there where the cupcake shop is, where this went down. And some of these people that were talking about how horrible it was actually got the police department out of the area. The citizens we spent 4 hours having a meeting with, I think there were about 25 of them in there. They were community reps. They came over and they talked about the horrible situation with having the police gone. The traffic lights are broken, so they have to direct traffic themselves. The emergency services won't come in there, so they had to borrow some stretchers and have volunteer crews to pick people up and transport them the old time way, manually, a mile and a half away where the emergency services will pick them up. They listen to people screaming because they're getting raped. Oh, we're not supposed to say that word, I guess. People are getting shot. The violence is endemic. And they finally just said enough, so they organized their own community patrols to get safety, because some people came in and said the police are abusing you, so you don't need them, so we'll take them away. And they're suffering from it. And people that they have been looking into, they were complaining about were taking money. Now, this is before all of this stuff hit the fan, but you can see it. Where you get this kind of corruption, it cannot exist unless there's official either turning a blind eye to it or official support for it. And when there's that, somebody's getting something under the table. And then look at this classic example. Nancy Pelosi. Her entire adult life, she's been receiving a public salary, and now she's reportedly worth $100-some million. There is no way in hell you can get that money off of the investment base she had from having a public servant salary without corruption.
Right. Well, that's just about everybody sitting in Congress, because they all come in poor or middle class or even upper class, but then they leave wealthy, and that is a problem. Now,
I'll give this one person I'll have to make an exception for, because I checked it out. Bernie Sanders, for whatever he is or is not worth, his net reported worth is about $800,000, which is about what you would expect.
No,
So,
actually, Bernie Sanders is one of the wealthiest.
He may be lying about it, but on the reports that I went through, even if you check followthemoney.org, which is a reliable source, young man, you can look that up. It's called
I'm gonna look into that.
followthemoney.org. It's complicated. It's got a yellow banner at the top and then a maroon one. And you can enter in the state you're interested in, the position and the name, and it will give you who is contributed to them, how much, and what for.
Donors and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have to file. If they're lobbyists, they have to file with the state agencies. Supposedly, the candidate has to file with the state election commissions. And anybody that's donated over a certain amount has to file. Some of them comply with the law, some don't. But this concern uses a computer system to analyze it.
I just looked it up real quick, and allegedly he's supposed to be worth $2 million. But honestly, I don't trust none of them, because they have legally the opportunity to what we will consider inside trading. So you have that advantage, and you should not, because you were not elected to go to the House or to go to the Senate to have an advantage with the stock market.
Trading.
Well, $2 million I can understand.
To invest your pocket. So, but let me just ask this, swinging it back to this fraud in Minnesota. So AG, and it was, I forgot who, Nick Shirley, he spoke because it was really his investigation that just bust this whole thing wide open. And now we have the Attorney General, we're going to have the governor. Ilhan Omar, can she legally, as a sitting House representative, be called to testify in a congressional hearing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Congress can demand accountability of its members. It also can eject its members in a process, and it can remove them from office if it implements impeachment proceedings.
Okay.
So look at Adam Clayton Powell. Twice happened to him. His interest in the island. No, he doesn't have to. She can take the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Fifth Amendment. You can always take that. I refuse to testify on the grounds that may tend to incriminate.
So Adam Clayton Powell took the Fifth?
They didn't even go there, but he owned this island. And like, homeboy, you a preacher, but how did you get the money to buy the island?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, hey, his voters returned him, but he got thrown out. We've got a guy around here in Memphis, Justin Pearson. He got ejected from the state house because he led some little private school kids into the Senate chambers or the legislative chambers in Nashville to have a anti-gun protest. And strange, he walks around here in Memphis lately with a gun on his hip trying to convince the gun shops and gun ranges that he's pro-gun, but up in Nashville, he's trying to get everybody stripped the gun rights. So, I mean, it happens. Well, I mean, it's all concerned. It's like, look back 80-some years to another socialist party, the National Socialist Workers' Party. Their acronym in German is NAZI. We know them historically as the Nazis. And the same kind of programs that you are seeing right now, the same kind of fraud, the same kind of accusations of censorship being thrown against the people that were trying to oppose them. You're seeing it one more time. The same thing about engendering street riots and upset, disrespect for the military, and all sorts of other things. You have it one more time. And most importantly, you have to look at this propaganda technique of you accuse your opponents of doing what you are trying to do.
So listen, thank you, Omar, for joining us today. Anything you want to say in closing?
Oh, by the way, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Dana, for having me. Nice meeting you both. Just in closing, with just everything that's going on, and you just said the word that's been sitting on the tip of my tongue, propaganda. And whether it was the Vietnam War, whether it was the Gulf War, Desert Storm, war, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, whatever words you want to use, I can remember so many times captain or a major or someone saying, we got to win the hearts and minds. And I feel like I'm seeing a replay of the whole post 9/11 kind of debacle. And I feel like the heartstrings of people are being tugged on. If you can either be two types of thinkers. If you could be an emotional thinker or you could be a logical thinker. And what they're displaying and what they're trying to show you, like, Judge, you're going to be familiar, like, they show you these clips of things that were going on in Vietnam, and then it's the sole purpose of it is to make the people feel this way and be anti or opposed to whatever. And whatever the case may be, if you're here in America, you're an American citizen, military or not, this is your home. So unless you have somewhere else to go to that you call home, I think that your best bet should be to root for America and want America to be as non-corrupt and as stand-up as possible. Everything with this mass immigration, and we all know these borders were wide open. We've seen these videos of the Rio Grande, with hundreds of thousands of people just crossing the river, and just it's so many other different ways that people are smuggled into the country. And it's BS. They're getting free healthcare. They're getting freaking WIC and food stamps and all different types of assistance. Even here in New Jersey, I do HVAC, and I've been working at certain apartment buildings for over 10 years. And I'll cut it off after this. I remember after that whole Afghanistan pullout, and I'm talking to the super of the building. I'm there to do some work on the boiler. And it's like, man, so y'all redoing the apartments? Nah, man, we got a bunch of people coming from Afghanistan. They got brand new refrigerators, washers and dryers, brand new stoves, brand new, it's delivery trucks all up and down the block. and you see people walking around in the long garbs and head wraps and stuff like that, a bunch of kids, he was like, man, they in here for free. They not paying for anything. So that means that whoever that property owner is getting some money from someone. To nobody houses anyone for free. That's just not how it works. So, that's just one example. That's Minnesota. This is New Jersey. And this building, I'm gonna go on that website, Judge, and I'm gonna try to see if I can track the money. But that was in Elizabeth, New Jersey. So I'll close on that.
I want him back.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We're going to stay in touch. I'll send you an email, and I'll put my number in as well, and I'll put the number in as well, if that's okay with you, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And so have you back probably Monday, have you come on? Because, I love what you have to say. And also, we'll conclude this on Monday, because I want to get your input on the security of the nation, being that you are military. So,
all right. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Nice meeting you both.